If you're moving to the Raleigh, North Carolina area, somebody has already told you where to live. Maybe a friend, a forum, AI, the best places list that you saw last week come across your screen. And here's the problem with that. The most popular neighborhood for everybody else might be the exact wrong one for you. Today, I'm taking the 3 areas most people fall in love with, and I'm telling you 1 or 2 things that nobody mentions about those areas. And as a bonus, I'm going to talk about the one area that everyone asks about later on in this video. So many people moving here fall in love with Holly Springs first. And I get it. It's kind of got brand new everything. A real downtown with actual character, great schools. Bass Lake is just a few minutes down the road. It's personally my favorite lake and where I take my kids to go fishing. It shows up on every single best places to live list. And when you drive through it on a Saturday, it sells itself. When we relocated from the West Coast, we definitely considered Holly Springs. There's a few things you need to know before you buy a house there. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You hear about all the new construction and the schools, and all of that is real. But here's what people don't think about. Holly Springs sits 20 miles southwest of Raleigh Central. And that sounds fine on a Saturday afternoon, but on a Tuesday at 8 a.m., driving on GB Halford Road, aka 55, when it comes to this area being brand new, there's a second side to it. When you buy into a newer section, you're often buying into a neighborhood that's half of a construction zone. Trucks, dust, noise, the irritating beeping sound from trucks backing up, and a tree canopy that won't fill in for another 20 years. Nobody puts that in the listing. So let me be straight with you about the trade-off, because you're going to figure it out at some point. Holly Springs costs you in commute and it costs you in maturity. If you're driving to RTP, Research Triangle Park, or downtown Raleigh, perhaps you're commuting into different business sections nearer to the city, you'll want to drive that route during commuter time, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on a weekday, to find out what it's really like. If you're thinking of buying a home with old growth, large trees and canopy, a lot of Holly Springs just isn't quite that yet. Now, to be fair, there definitely are neighborhoods that have old growth and are older established communities. A lot of the clients that I help move to the area are wanting new construction. They want a brand new home no one's ever lived in before. They want it in a good school district, and they're looking for that to be their first purchase here in North Carolina. Here's the flip, and this might be exactly what you want. If you work from home, or perhaps you're hybrid, or your schedule has any give in it, the commute stops being a deal breaker. If you're wanting a lot of newness to the area, new home, new schools, and newer communities and stores and roads, this might actually be the perfect place for you. Maybe you're not interested in repainting a home. Maybe you're not interested in taking down somebody else's wallpaper. In that case, Holly Springs isn't the wrong neighborhood, it's the obvious one. If you want to know which sections of Holly Springs are done growing and which are still under construction, that's exactly what we can map out with you for your family as you to the area. Reach out to us today and we'll set up a quick call to find out what area is best for you. If that area 1 isn't a good fit, keep watching, because in a little bit I'm going to talk about the area everyone asks about that's closer to the city. Area 2 is the one that most people play it safe with. You can't go wrong with this pick. That reputation is hiding one thing you should really care about. So many people land on Cary or Apex because it seems like the safe answer. Top-ranked schools, voted the safest cities in America. Apex was actually named by a list the best place to live in America. Clean, central, well-run. Hey, even the mayor of Apex has his own Instagram account to keep you updated on what's happening with the city, the stores, the streets, and everything about the town. I think that's pretty cool. When somebody asks a relocation group where they should move to, 40 people say just move to Cary or Apex. This is what they mean. But safe has a price tag. Actually, it has 2 price tags. Let me explain. You hear all about the schools, you hear all about the safety, but there's something that a lot of people don't talk about. When everybody wants the same place, 2 things happen. One thing that happens when you choose these areas is that you pay for it. The pricing difference when you're talking about Apex or Cary as opposed to Fuquay-Varina, which is another 20 minutes away, can be up to 30%. Now I say up to because it depends on the house, the neighborhood, all the different things. But I can tell you that that price for that same exact house will be higher in Apex than Fuquay and higher in Cary than Fuquay. Number 2, it's busy. The thing that makes it great for people and everything is right there. All the shops, all the stores, the cute walkable downtown area with the incredible parks, places for kids to play. We're talking soccer, we're talking skate parks, we're talking playgrounds, theaters, breweries, all of that stuff is right there, and so is everybody else. The homes everyone's fighting for right in the downtown areas and closest to the hottest areas are dated. You're paying a premium for the zip code, for the school district, then you're writing another check to update the kitchen. And that might be exactly what you want. Maybe you're looking for a 50, 60-year-old home, you want to renovate it, make it your own, and you want to walk to downtown. That's amazing, and we've got some of those for sale. The trade-off with Cary and Apex is simple. You're exchanging price and some elbow room for a pretty sure thing. You're buying certainty. Certainty that you're gonna love the area you live in and that it's gonna have all the amenities that you need, and certainty comes with a price. Here's the flip. If it's your first time moving to our area and you don't know the back roads yet or the places you're gonna spend most of your time, buying the sure thing makes sense. If resale value on the home that you buy would keep you up at night, Apex and Cary are a really good choice for long-term value. I'm real with my audience. I cannot guarantee where the housing market is going to go. But if you keep your mind in reality, as a seller someday, you will make money on that home. If you've got kids, you want to put them in some great schools and get rid of that anxiety, it's an obvious choice. For that buyer, Cary or Apex isn't overpriced. It's insurance. Okay, Cary and Apex might not fit your lifestyle. Maybe you're looking for something a little more fast-paced. A little bit later on, I'm going to talk about the place everyone asks for, so don't miss it. We've covered 3 areas that everybody asks me about and are often at the top of search lists for the Raleigh area. But here, next, area number 3 is Fuquay-Varina. Yeah, it's that funny sounding town with 2 names that's really got 2 downtowns and is like 2 towns put together into one. People who end up here find this place. They discover it and they realize how much benefit there is to living in Fuquay. A lot of them tell us they fell in love with the downtown. They fell in love with all the beauty around this area. It still has a lot of that old South kind of a feel. And what I mean by that is older trees, older neighborhoods. There's definitely new developments in the area, but you've got a lot of different variety in Fuquay. The big headline with Fuquay is you get more house for your money in Fuquay than you do in those other areas that we spoke about. I would say it's actually a tier. If you think of Apex Cary at the top for price, Holly Springs next, Fuquay-Varina is right after that. You've got 2 actual downtowns with personality, and really, by the minute, this place is improving. The biggest thing we can talk about is how much the brewery, Aviator, has improved everything about Fuquay, specifically Varina downtown, because there's 2 different downtowns. As we show you a little bit of what's going on with Aviator, they have a barbecue house, they have a pizza house, they have a tap room, and they have a new expansive 40,000 square foot brewery with an actual airplane that you can eat in or have a drink, and a music venue. Single-handedly, Aviator has changed the landscape of Fuquay Varina. Even if you don't drink alcohol, you have to check out Aviator. It's fantastic. Fuquay Varina gives you that small town feel that a lot of towns had traded away years ago. People who live here are quietly some of the happiest buyers I work with. So why doesn't everybody move here? There's definitely one big reason, and it's the same reason it's still a deal. You're going to hear all about the value and the charm, but here's the rest of the story. You have to drive. When it comes to Fuquay, your main road in and out is 401. 401 goes from Fuquay Varina straight up into downtown Raleigh. Some people are going to be using that highway daily. The rest of us are going to be going up to US 1, for which you have to take 55, and it's basically a smaller road that gets traffic and congestion, especially as you go through Holly Springs. I'll be straight with you. If you want to go south, one lane country highway. Most people aren't driving that direction, but it is something to consider in Fuquay Varina. The trade-off is the cleanest of all three. You trade minutes for everything else. Almost definitely a lower price than the other areas. Smaller town life, all of it's paid for with drive time. If you commute, but hey, if you're working from home, it doesn't even matter. Of course, value isn't the only reason to choose Fuquay Varina. There are million-dollar homes in Fuquay Varina. There are upscale neighborhoods as well. So it does have a lot of variety to offer for people who want to be maybe a little bit out of the way, a little bit more country, but still want access to everything within a 30-minute drive. So that's really the flip here in Fuquay, is that the thing that scares a lot of people away, that drive, might not even matter for you. Hey, maybe you're retired, maybe you work from home, or you've got a hybrid situation where you only need to commute twice a week. Those are all real options for a lot of buyers that we work with, and it might make the difference for why Fuquay could be the perfect choice for your family. By the way, if you're a hybrid or a remote worker, or maybe you're retired, it might be worth looking at the value of a house in Fuquay Varina versus the value of a house in Cary. We can do that for you side by side on a quick Zoom call, and the links are in the description below. Before I tell you my personal pick, having been someone who lived here and relocated from the West Coast, Southern California to be exact, I'm here for you. I'm doing this research so that you can make an informed decision and get into a home that works for you and your family, that you don't regret 12 months later. And just before I tell you my pick, make sure to click on the playlist that we're going to give you at the end for more ideas and more neighborhoods that are going to fit your style. I look forward to talking to you over there. Now, for my personal pick, we actually chose just outside of Apex and just outside of Cary and just north of Holly Springs. So if you look at a map and you find 1010 and Holly Springs Road, that's where we live. We're going to talk about the one everyone asks about, and it's kind of a zinger. We're talking about central Raleigh, downtown Raleigh, the city of Raleigh, and what's called inside the Beltline. For a lot of people, the metro lifestyle is really a dream. They want to step out their front door, go get a great brewed coffee down the street, go to a local brewery and grab a local beer. They want a lot of different options for restaurants and fun events and concert venues. They want it all. We're talking about the city of Raleigh. It's got free concerts on a Saturday. It's got street fairs and vendors. It's got all the restaurants that you could ask for, including our favorite barbecue, The Pit. We'll talk about that in a second, as well as hotels and conference centers to be able to attend all sorts of different events. There's no yard to mow and there's no commute to speak of. On paper, it seems like one of the most exciting places to live. Yeah, it's not as big as New York, or definitely not as big as LA, so it seems like maybe it might be a little more small town. Well, let's talk about the reality of living in the city of Raleigh. Downtown is mostly filled with condos and high-rises. There's very few homes left, although there are houses in downtown Raleigh, but they're going to cost you quite a bit, and they're definitely going to be older homes unless it's an infill. So again, we've referred to infill before, where they scrape an old home and they build a brand new one. I have a friend who does this as a living, and they're beautiful homes, very expensive. We're talking million plus to 3 or 4 million to live down there in a brand new, large built house. The garage, the room for kids, the room for a dog, and everybody gets to sit out amongst the trees. That is traded when you go downtown to the city of Raleigh. When we're talking about numbers, downtown Raleigh sells at an average that is above all of Wake County. Why? Well, it's desirable to be in the area. As I said, if you can afford a home that's 3,000 or 4,000 square feet in that area, you might be paying $300 to $400 a square foot. The median sale price for all of Wake County is $207 per square foot. The median price per square foot for Raleigh, the city of Raleigh, is $233. That's a lot more to pay to be in the metro where the action's at. Now, Raleigh has done a great job of handling the city and the streets. Just recently, I drove through downtown on a video shoot and was remarking at how the farmers market drew quite a few homeless people. And we all look at that and say, we wish we could help them. I can say it's definitely way better than what I've seen in LA and other parts of the country, but it's still here as well. So we have to keep that in mind when it comes to the downtown city life. Here's the other side of the coin. If you're a young professional or maybe a young couple, you love to be in the metro lifestyle, you want to visit tons of different restaurants, and you and your friends are going to meet at the local brewery every night, hey, downtown is the lifestyle and the spot for you. There are options to obviously rent apartments near downtown. Walkability is high in downtown Raleigh, and it really is, in my mind, more beautiful than a lot of cities, especially because of all the oak trees. After all, it is called Oak City for a reason. When looking at downtown Raleigh, one building to another building can make a huge difference. And yeah, you'll see some of that on Zillow or online, but you want to deep dive into those areas and find out when you go downstairs and walk out your front door, what kind of area are you walking into? Well, we're shooting more and more footage around the city to be able to show you what it looks like all over Raleigh, especially downtown in some of these hotter areas. I've got a playlist coming up in just a minute that will show you awesome areas in Raleigh that you need to check out that are the alternative to the ones that we've talked about. So go ahead and click on over to that at the end of this video and I'll show you some more options. You might be wondering, hey Chris, what's your most favorite option out of these 4 areas? Well, for me, I have a family, young kids, and for our lifestyle, Cary Apex fits the bill. My second choice would probably be Holly Springs. I personally would avoid downtown Raleigh because I'm not going out to party much and I can't afford to drink every night. So that's the reality of it for me. And that being said, most people are trying to identify the best area to move into. It's super important for you before you move your whole life over here. We know the ins and outs of these neighborhoods. We haven't even shown you Wake Forest, Clayton, Knightdale, or Wendell, and those might be the perfect fit as well. So your best bet when you're really planning on making that move to Raleigh is to get in touch and have a quick phone call or video call where we can go through the best options for you. You might be early in discovery, maybe you're moving in 2 years. It's still worth having that phone call, getting some free information for us to show you the places that would fit your lifestyle. As I said, these areas, you want to watch out for the things that we talked about, the price, the homelessness, some of the other options that are going to maybe dissuade you from those areas. I'd like to keep showing you areas and giving you more information, so I'm going to bring up a link in just a second that brings you to more areas and more houses to see that I've personally picked to be able to help you locate the perfect area for you and your family. Now, where did I pick? Well, I'm actually just outside Cary and just outside of Apex. If you look, they're kind of side by side and they kind of stretch around an area that's just south of Cary. Why? Well, we actually like a wooded area. We wanted lots of trees. I'll tell you, they're really expensive to take care of, but they're kind of worth it. We wanted a nice big lot for our kids to run around on, climb trees, break stuff, ride their bikes, all of that. We also have 2 families living on our property, so we kind of have a dual family type of lot, and a lot of the new construction didn't fit that for us. Here's a playlist I made for you to show you more areas to check out before you make the move to Raleigh. I look forward to showing you some more. I'll see you over there.